So we're going to briefly continue with our exploration of Mareh Yaakov this week. We got started a little bit late. We are in the section on Noach, page 110, Breshit Yud, Genesis chapter 10, Pasuk Yudalet, sentence 14. So what we're doing here is we're going through the progeny of all the generations that come after the flood.
Look, Plishtim.
Yep. So
these are the real Palestinians.
We are now going through the children of Mitzrayim, the children of Egypt, the children of Chet, but of Ham. So we're going through all of his progeny, and we are going to start Viet Patrusim. This is a Ger Shayim, so this is a note that's going to have more than one intention or thing that's going on it. It is something that is on top of the word, so it emphasizes or makes the word a little more important. And with Patrusim, number one, when tribes in Upper Egypt increased in number and occupied more territories, they intermingled amongst themselves, and a merger was effected by assuming a common name. And with Pathrusim, the first union was formed. By that they indicated common interests and the same background as indicated by the reverse shape of the reading mark. So what we're trying to say here is, number one, these are backwards looking notes. They face backwards, so we're looking back at the other sons that Egypt has already had, and we're saying that some of these tribes, as they went and continued to expand in territory, joined together, and that's why we have to look backwards at them. So they both were part of what was before, but also they formed a new area by themselves, so that's why it gets a double note. Viet Kasluchim.
Right, before you go on, you're telling the thing about the word. It could be that patriotic is also part of that, especially after you said what the meaning is. They hear they're binding together, and it's a patriotic spirit. Pater familias and all that, yeah. So patriotic comes from that too.
Viet Kasluchim, and with Kasluchim, this is a Revi'i, so this is going to make that word sort of stand by itself, stand alone from the things that are around it. Similar to the union in Upper Egypt, other clans to the north in Lower Egypt acted comparably, and with Kasluchim they derived a fused name, moving from there in two directions, to the north and northeastward, by extension of the seashore, as pointed out by the broad meaning of the reading mark. So a Revi'i is a diamond shape, and we've said before that it also means something that is expanding laterally or expanding in a way within its own framework. So it's something that's getting bigger by being more of itself. So that's sort of what a diamond shape does. It moves to the side from its own point of origin, if you will. So I'm trying to see where he's.
Here it sounds like the opposite. But words have the opposite meaning also.
Where I'm seeing where he's taking two names and fusing them in order to get
well,
these
maybe
names.
From the word itself, because usually a shorsh is three letters, and here cups there's four letters. So usually if Malbim says there's four letters, it's usually a 2 and a 2. So that could be the fusion right there, whatever kas and lach, you know what I mean?
So we have kalach before, and we have resen before, and we have naftuchim. So I'm trying to think where he's where he's saying that these are fusions.
But maybe Kasluchim themselves are the Kas people and the Lach people or whatever. You have to go back to reference it to other people.
Agreed.
The Chim does make the plural.
Well, it's certainly a merger of two different, because the word itself is called a merger.
That's what it's saying. The Kas and the Lach. Here the Kas is not like
we'll go on because this is not immediately obvious. I don't think to any of us. So Asher, that with a pashta. The pashta is going to make the word stand by itself. It's going to focus us a little bit forward from there, and it's going to emphasize the word slightly. The number 3, that.
Let's go to the next page.
Those that were located on the seashore west of the Nile. So we're going. That's where it continues. Those that were located on the seashore west of the Nile migrated northward by sea in papyrus boats. Some of them stopped on the island of Crete. Others traveled further, reaching the northwestern shore of Asia Minor, as shown by the directional shape of the related reading mark. So what we have said sometimes is when we actually look at notes and look at geographical distributions, that the note actually is pointing on a map where they went to. So the Pashta, he's saying, is pointing northward and a little bit to the west. So he's actually inferring direction that they traveled from the way that the Pashta points.
And the parties.
We haven't said this. So he's saying that those of both, probably Kasluchim, but it might be both, from both of those tribes who were on the north shore, got into boats and spread from there north and west, because that's the way the note is actually pointing, north and west.
Like Greece.
So Crete, which is just south of Greece. Yatsu went out. This is a mercha, so this is ever so slightly connected to what's come from before, but mostly going forward into what's going to come after it. Went out, number 4. However, those who went out from the eastern section of the delta and moved by land northeastwards settled the south of Canaan, as stressed by the directional shape of the reading mark. So this one I have a little trouble in terms of saying direction, because they're going east, not west. But
if that's what he's saying, though, he's saying number 4 went to the shape of the mercha.
Yeah, they're going from the east to go.
It goes east and north.
Agreed. If you
start right from the bottom.
Start from the bottom and go up, then you're going north and east. So they also travel along that, and mercha does have a slight connection to what comes before it, and we also have the concept in Tanakh of any word possibly meaning itself and the exact opposite of that, davar v'hipucho. So it is quite possible, especially when you're saying going out, leaving from what you would normally do, that we're taking this as a hefech, as an opposite of the way that it's pointing, and it goes the other direction. So we can perhaps see that's why he's going up the mercha and not down the mercha.
But is that from Misham Plishtim because
Yatsu? Each, so the concept of this particular drash is that the notes are Torah L'Moshe Misinai. The notes are part of the Torah Sheba'al Peh that was given to us, and each word was assigned a note and assigned a position on the word where that note goes. So this is not something that's random. So each word has to take on a special interpretation all by itself as a separate paragraph or idea, because without necessarily a direct relation to the other words in a sentence, although notes are either connecting or separating, but you have to stop and interpret each word by the merit of the fact that it received that note in that syllable of that word. So,
Change your whole way of thinking.
this is not again the normal way that we do interpretation, but that's the way that this drush works. This drush works because of that's the premise that we're starting from. So, Yatsu, number 4, went out. However, those who went out from the eastern section moved. Okay, so that we talked about that. Misham. This is a tavir. Tavir is the mercha with a little dot sheltered in the middle of it. So whenever we see the tavir, we're going to say that there is a sense of something being sheltered or protected that's implied upon this word.
Also the
from
mem,
there.
Mem inside the shin, mem to mem. You have a shin protected kind of thing. Or
We're not so much
are you not
focused on the letters themselves unless they are influenced by the notes. So we're really taking the influence of the note upon the word. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Umbilical, umbilical.
So number 5, from there, again with the tavir, after they obtained a foothold on new grounds, they started from there new ventures as denoted by the shape of the reading mark. So once they got established in that place and had a safe, sheltering base to operate from, then they went to other places. So the place where they were, Misham, from there is their base of stability, and that's why it gets a tavir. Plishtim with a tipcha. So this is a backwards looking note. It goes and references back what's happened before, and then it has a pause after it. The eastern clans call themselves Plishtim, Philistines. They intermingled with their northern neighbors and anticipated building a homeland there, as referred backward by the directional shape of the reading mark. So these are the ones who came out from there, and we have said before, I'm not sure if we've said it on the tape, but the derivation of Plishtim is usurpers, people who take something, invaders, people who come from somewhere else and try to take something forcibly from somebody else. So they came from that stable base, Misham, and they tried to invade that area.
Has anything changed?
Viet Kaftorim. So Sof Pasuk, this is a stabilizing form. This tells us that this is something that is going to have some stability to it. Number 7, yet those from the north returned for the most part to Crete and identified themselves with the Plishtim and with Kaftorim.
joined together.
So again, those who left that area found stability in returning to that area. So we're focusing very intently on who is coming to the land of Israel and what their intentions are and whether they have a claim or not. So if they're coming as usurpers or if they're coming as those people who truly have something of a claim, that's what we're trying to establish, and that's what the notes are pointing us to. Even though we're just reading names, all of a sudden we start to get an appreciation of that we're not only talking about who they were, but did they have a right? How did they get there? Why did they go there? And we have we have an addendum, and B, both groups were militant, and later pharaohs recruited soldiers from among them for wars and military expeditions. From Crete and Greece, men were also hired for the personal king's guard. So a lot of the references that we're going to find in the Sefer are historical or archaeological notes. He doesn't necessarily say that those are part of the Perush, and that's why it's separated out as something that has an NB or another note beside it. So this is not part of the Perush, but it's part of certainly the wisdom that he wants to impart to us. So I think we're going to call it here. I know that was very, very short. We're going to read through the sentence. We're going to notice that both the Patrusim and the Kasluchim sort of stand apart by themselves as separate entities, because each of those notes has an implied pause after it. and the Plishtim, again, are going to stand separate from the Kaftorim because they each are staking their own claim in a different area of land. Viet Patrusim, Viet Kasluchim, Asher Yatsu Misham, Plishtim, Viet Kaftorim.
You mentioned that we said about Plishtim that about invaders. What word do you see in the Kaftorim? And isn't that the one where you said they're both militant? Or the
Yes.
Kaftorim also the militant one?
Yes.
What word? English, I'm not helping. I don't spoon feed. What word do you see? English.
Buttons.
Kaftorim.
Buttons.
No. No. In the Shorish, I'm saying. English word. What English word sounds like Kaftorim? With a militant nature.
You could have a python.
Capture.
Capture.
Oh, Jeff said that Jeff,
Okay.
you said you give it more weight.
So we have the same consonant sounds.
Not perfect.
Okay.
So, very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you one and all, and
To all, happy Hanukkah.
Happy
happy Hanukkah one and all.
Okay,
So.
chafach.
Thank you.